Hello everyone again and welcome to my channel. Not sure what you think of all these. These are actually all Indian tools. Now these three here were found at my house where I'm living right now in Saharita. This one was found 10 years ago, actually next to Winco on 59th Avenue and Bell Road. It was in one of their water culverts that whenever it rains, it floods, it fills up, and then the water drains off. That whole neighborhood actually is full of Indian rock artifacts. I have many from a house that I lived in. That's the only reason I was able to find this one, because I happened to live in the same neighborhood and saw this as I was riding my bike by, and I saw it in there, and I found some other artifacts too, but this is one of the best and most intriguing. I'll show it to you. It actually has a hand grip right here. Very smooth on the bottom. The only disappointing part was it was chipped. Got chipped somehow when it got transported to that location. Very, very smooth. Very heavy. I mean, a giant Indian could have used this one also, and so could have just a normal Native American. I mean, I could use it if I needed to. It's very heavy. I mean, after a while, I'd build up some pretty good muscles using it. The reason I have this here is so I can compare it to another one. This one came from my backyard here in Sarita. It's pretty much the same tool. Pretty much the same tool, except it's much rougher on the bottom. This is more of a rougher type of surface for smoothing and whatnot. And there's mica, gold, or something in there. I've seen some gold and look like gold in a lot of these well, it looks like, to me, quartz or something in there. But there is a lot of shiny in there. It may be gold or maybe just mica. I mean, it's all over in there. And basically what I'm trying to get at is this is a giant Indian tool. Even though these are both pretty much utilized the same way. That one's a smooth and this one's a rough one. This came out of my backyard with all the other giant Indian rock artifacts. And so I do believe it was used by a giant red-headed Indian. It kind of has a shoe shape or a foot shape. It could have been used as some sort of for making a moccasin or something, uses some kind of, and this one too could have been used for making some kind of a moccasin also. It's some, they'd put it around there and it had to be somebody with a big foot to use this, and that looked like it would be a red-headed Indian child. Very big, very smooth, very rough. Both pretty much the same thing. You got a handle here. Put your hand on it. Very heavy. I mean, very heavy for me. There are a lot of people out there much stronger than I am. Very heavy. Those are those two. Sarita, Arizona. Glendale, Arizona. Okay, then we come on to this one right here. This is actually a really big tool. You can't see it from this end, but it's a very big tool. I mean, somebody with a big hand had to have used that. If it was used in that manner, I'll show you the other side. Big giant quartz crystal has been knocked off of this thing because they've been using it as a tool. I mean, a regular Native American Indian could have put this in the ground and scraped on top of it whatever they needed to make. But just from this cutout, all these two cutouts on here, it looks to me like it was used by somebody with a big hand to grab a hold of that and to rub, their branches, whatever they were carving down to make spears out of. That's probably what they used this for, was knocking bark off of branches and whatnot to make their big spears. Their war weapons, their tomahawk handles and tool handles and whatnot. I'm sure that's how it was, and they could have chipped it away and used it like this too. Well, they would have bigger hands. They would probably hold on to it like this, because it does have a sharp edge on it also. So it's kind of a dual purpose. Smoothing, scraping here, and cutting here. It looks like it's may have been used, and that could have been just from transporting it to this location. That damage could have came from that. But this is a giant tool. I mean, in my front and backyard, I have big rocks that have similar like this on it, where they would rub their whatever they were making on it. And eventually I'll get pictures of that. And then over here, We have a smaller one. This one came from my backyard. This one came from the front yard. It was laying in the dirt here, kind of all dirtied up. It was laying in the dirt, and all I saw was this side. So I picked it up, and well, lo and behold, it was also a smoothing tool of some kind. Pretty rough on the other side. This also could be used as by a regular Native American, but since it was found in my backyard, I'm most likely thinking it was a giant Indian tool. I mean, the kids could have used it. It's small enough for their kids to use. I mean, even the big, giant red-headed Indians could have used it also. And it's pretty cool. Another big tool. And that's pretty much all I have for today on this video. I just wanted to show you a comparison of this to show that they were pretty much the same thing. This could have been a giant red-headed Indian tool too. It could have it. You know, there's no way to know. It also, with this black on it here, let me get to that too. I was going to tell you about that. This black here, that's actually from them putting it in a fire. And the reason they would put it in a fire is so it could be heated up and used in the wintertime as a heating element. They would put this underneath the area they sleep, bury it, and it would heat the ground, and they would sleep on top of it. And because the dirt was all around it, it would insulate it, and it would stay warm for a long time. So they have you'll find lots of rocks. If you find them and they have the black on it, then that's pretty much what it was, a fire rock. It's dual purpose. Well, could be way more than dual purpose. They could have been using these for many, many different things. Because, you know, if you're going to carry something around with you or use something, you're going to make sure you can use it for everything you need it for. And then, like I said, this is a fire rock. Keeps them warm in the wintertime. So that's another. This one here, probably not. This one here, if you threw it in the fire, it'd probably shatter and bust up, and because some rocks will do that if they're real porous, and this is porous. So, all right. Thank you very much for watching my video. Like and subscribe. Any comments, I will get back to you. Thank you very much.